Detective Castellanos.
Was that someone else's memories?
Is it indeed? So, this
You
episode...
were moaning in your sleep.
Oh, was I?
Have a bad dream?
Maybe I was having a good dream. Yeah, just by the way you moaned, I was probably having a decent dream. Let go of me. So, this episode's stuff's changed, both production-wise, me and the game. For all those who don't know, first of all, I'm going to explain why everything's sped up. Don't worry, don't change, don't touch the monitor settings. I don't know how that phrase goes. For those who don't know, I am doing the rest of the series post, this game post, because even on the lowest settings, which there's not many to change, I have to bump down the graphics all the way and increase the fan on my PC a lot, to the point where it's obnoxious and really annoying and difficult, almost impossible to completely get out of the audio if I do live commentary. So what I've decided to do is post for the series. And this episode, I don't know why I haven't done any chapters earlier. Maybe I was just struggling to try. I guess you can consider this series as more like a trial test series. Not really that. Like, I'm growing through this series. I'm doing more production-wise, more editing-wise. I'm learning and growing. I have upped all the graphics as much as I can. 60 frames per second, all max shadow, everything I can do. And I had to crank my fan up even higher, obviously, clearly. So, it's going to look as pretty as I can make it. And those parts, where I'm going around getting the keys and then upgrading myself, I'm going to speed those up from here on out. So you guys don't have to worry about that. But there, something new in this... How did you move so quickly? Something new in this, this chapter is that painting. You zoom in and then you zoom out, or you exit out of the zooming and then... Oh! Jump scares things. That pretty much symbolizes that Ruvik sort of located us in his mind, kinda. Like it's like a big MMO kind of... Think of it as like a giant MMO world, for example. It's nothing like that, but think of it like that if it helps you. And Ruvik is a modded player who can teleport around and do whatever. We are just a regular player in the game. And he found us, sorta. He's really close to us. And he's trying to alter us, kill us, pretty much. But we have a good say in this world. And we're not going to let up so easily, because we have strong will. We have a strong will. And we have a lot of connections with Ruvik, past himself and whatnot. Oh, that's not good. So, the whole place, the whole safe place, I believe from here on out, has changed. Looks to kind of like an old-timey house kind of feel. Because of him finding us. It may change back, I don't know, maybe I'm full of it. But, we're back here. This is... If you've seen a preview footage of the game before it came out, you'll know this chapter. In a few minutes, you will know it. But right now, there's some extra areas here and there behind you. Always check behind you when you spawn into a new level in this game. So one thing I liked about Resident Evil 4 compared over this is... Sure, there's a couple points in Resident Evil 4 where, bam, you're in a whole new level. Like, oh, you're on the island. It's completely separated. But it makes sense because you went on a boat and you went there. And most of those areas is I go to here, I go to here. It's all a big chunk of area connected. Here, you go through mine teleports. It's... I don't know. But...
I've never been here before,
but it seems familiar. Maybe you've been in this place before. You seem acquainted with those doors. There, for those who don't know, I'm going to try to make this an all-key run if I can. Not kind of be like a, oh, collectibles run, watch my LLP, like, fave, subscribe to get all the collectibles. No, it's really handy to get all the keys, because you can unlock more doors, and that gives you a bunch of extra ammo whenever you really need it, as in you're empty and low and just gone. And also there's a bunch of piles of gel, green gel throughout the lockers. And if you get all the lockers, you get 100,000 green gel to upgrade. Of course you don't get that till like right there at the end of the game, but it still helps.
Hey! Stop, damn it!
What a mention. So another kind of homage to classic Resident Evil games.
Now what?
Not only that this little foyer looks exactly the same. First of all, this segment you need to complete 3 puzzles. We'll get to that in a minute to bypass that door to continue forward. But also, in the same room spot as Resident Evil 1, you saw there was a diner. And since there's health here, I don't upgrade my health as much as I should. I know there's only like 4 upgrades I can do. And every time you upgrade, your health is fully healed. So it's best to do when you're low. Just get free healing. But I never do that because I always come across healing items. And I feel like it's a waste to use that. Give you a second to pause to read that if you want. I'm going to make a separate video for that after I'm done with the game. But I suppose I could, what am I thinking? Health. I suppose I could have just healed and then later gone back for it if I needed to, because this place isn't super short. I need to stop messing with quartz right now. So the most notable part about this chapter is a sort of a Nemesis-esque system. Not sure how to explain it. You'll see it here in a minute. But it's a system that is both really cool, but also terrifying and really annoying. I'll explain more in a minute, but please enjoy my incredible inaccuracy. I think I've upgraded the accuracy on this gun all the way, or almost all the way. So, this is all me, baby. Yeah. Yeah. I am bad at video games. But right now, about now, is the thing. Give it a minute. There we go. That noise hits. You see that the enemy turned to Ruvik? First of all, shout out to the blue screen, because it's kind of like how in the pre-Resident Evil 4, like 3.5 I guess you could say, before Resident Evil 4 was Las Plaga, it was where there were no monsters. There's nothing. But you were infected with this hallucinogenic virus that made you think there were monsters, like dolls coming alive in a hook command. But it was all in your mind. It had that same kind of blue tint. But also there's someone in this room sort of watching us. They don't want to come up here yet, but running away from Ruvik, I might as well. He comes around about 5-10 minutes. After every 5-10 minutes or so. He will instant kill you if he hits you. If he catches up to you, it's an instant kill. Notice how everyone's slashed up but him. Ruvik is that little boy, by the way. Spoiler alert, you'll find out in like 10 minutes, 5 minutes. You're not even. Key, by the way, there's another key in this room. And that lock, that dial, there's 2 dials. It's not really much of a spoiler. It's a puzzle. Both dials have like, you see there was one person there, and the other dial is a certain number of people. You don't have to memorize that. Don't write them down like I did. It's a waste of time because Castellanos here, he remembers it, which takes a little out of it, really, honestly. I would have liked to have to remember it myself to write it down, but thankfully I got the stealth kill on this guy. And I'll be honest with you, I've had a little bit to drink, not much, but time is already flying. Like, it's already 10 minutes past, and I still have a bunch of stuff to say. Drink responsibly, kids. Don't drink at all, kids. Don't drink unless you're of age. And if you're of age, drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. Yeah, Ruvik is annoying. First of all, it's awesome because it's a random thing that happens that can get you and just, it's a random like Nemesis-like encounter. Only the worst thing is it's another instant kill thing, and it sucks. It sucks a lot. Yeah, overall, I like the concept of it. Just like Sword Art Online, I like the concept of it. It's really cool. But the execution is really dumb. For those who don't know my opinions on Sword Art Online, I don't like Mary Sue stories because it's lazy and unoriginal. Also, another health item. Might as well juice up. Oof, I needed it. Yeah, if you want my opinions... Oh, I have health kits. Should use them later, if I can. If you want my opinions on Sword Art Online, ask me later, and I'll maybe make a video with a friend talking about him. That was a close one. So, I'm not sure how often Ruvik appears, but it's kind of unnerving because there's a lot of dead ends here. And if you get caught in a dead end and he appears, you're dead. You just stand there and accept your fate.
Subject number 58, test 92A, electrode placement in M33, pain region. Ineffective. Anticipate greater results with stimulation of section F7, the consent region of the neocortex. Subject imprint, only partially successful. Individual personality traits linger.
So if you don't know what to do here, you listen to it. And it says a certain number of a certain area of the brain that he starts to inject.
Great. What did I just set in motion?
Is this, what did you call it, your inner sanctum? A research lab of your own? I am most impressed.
Why are you back? I didn't give you permission.
Come now, we're both men of science. Men of science are dedicated to the pursuit of knowledge. You can show me your experiments. I can show you things.
You wouldn't like them. You'd think they're gross.
In science, one must do any number of things a layperson may find disgusting. I've done many things others would consider distasteful.
You think I'm some kind of a monster.
You concern yourself so much with your appearance, but that mind of yours, that's all that matters.
That's Marcello. Is that Ruvik with him?
I have a problem with that. Like, a lot of the dialogue in this game, it feels weird. As in, not natural at all. Ruvik says, "You won't like what I've done. You think it's gross." And the other guy tries to comfort him, saying, "It's fine. Usually, a lot of scientists have to do stuff that people don't think might be a little gross in order to progress through science, to forward science. To forward science, a scientist may have to do yucky, gross, not really moral things." And Ruvik's response is, "Oh, you think I'm a monster?" Even though he just said, "Actually, I have done some bad things myself." He's trying to comfort him, but Ruvik's like, "No, yeah. It's not natural." Also, there was a cut there because oh, that scared me when I played this, by the way. Oh, that one hit, but... So, I couldn't find the key, because the guy that was following was not very clear. So I decided to just look up a video, found it. It was fine.
That looks like the same red liquid.
1 of 3 down, and I think that liquid is blood. Also, another encounter. Let me look at the... Yeah, it's about every 5 minutes. 5 to 10 minutes, I think. I don't know. I'm going to keep track right now what happens. I don't know. He must be up the stairs somewhere. Where the hell is he? I don't know. I don't like... I really hate when I encounter him in this area because right there I could have... If I wasn't paying super attention and going slow, I could have ran right into him. And even if you run into him by accident and try to turn around, boom, instant kill. Thankfully it only lasts like, what, 20 seconds? 30 seconds? Ugh. So let's go up here. The whole first, second floor kind of loops around. It's kind of good because it's like they made the first section of the bottom where we just were. And went, oh geez, we forgot about the Ruvik mechanic. If he appears when you're there in your corner, you're fucked. Well, alright, fine. Let's make the second floor loop around the main areas. So it does. Got that lady. Got a bottle, which is good for distracted, I guess. Some traps. A little bit of stuff here and there. So yeah, this level is great design. Like, look at that typewriter, a la Resident Evil save points. Missed that. Like Resident Evil 4, it always comes back to Resident Evil 4. First of all, I think on survival, sometimes there's guys up here. But you see, there's like 11 dudes up there. Don't worry about recounting them. Castellanos remembers it, unfortunately. But I really liked what Resident Evil 4 did. Like, it wasn't survival horror, it was more action-y, of course, but it was a fun action, where there were still really terrifying moments where you're like, oh, I don't have enough bullets, or that guy's not going down by normal means. Of course, once you figure it out, it's not as scary, but it's still really, like, the Regenerators. Even now, I know how to beat them, but their look and their sound is still terrifying. Also, there's sometimes a guy over here. Like, when I first played through, he was here. Also, when I first played through, I went through here and just boom, Ruvik appeared. I thought it was a scripted thing. I'm having trouble there, picking up a bunch of stuff. I don't know about all the other stuff. Yeah. So, what is this? Interesting. What's this? A little bit of story in these few rooms and a couple of good items, or one really good item that I will make use of later. Right here, actually. That's not it. Never mind. It's in the other. There's a bit of story. Ruvik is Laura's sister, and if you don't know, Laura is the spider lady who we encounter. And Ruvik seems like he may have the hots for her. I don't know. We just picked up a medkit, by the way. If you know what a medkit is, I skipped there, by the way, because I sat down there for like a minute or two, waiting for the guy to come through to this room. Because there's a guy that went through that door in the other room from the hallway. He went from the hallway into that room that we were just in, and usually he comes into this room, but for some reason he didn't. So I hid down there waiting for him, but he didn't for some reason, so I'm just gonna ambush him. But Ruvik seems to have some kind of hots for his sister, which is weird. But I guess in whatever times is, it was like 20 years ago. It wasn't super long ago too. So I mean, I don't know how long a brain can hold in like a biogel, but I don't think it can hold for like 100 years. Plus the technology to hold them there, I don't think it was 100 years old. Otherwise it'd be like from like the early 1900s, 1800s, or whatever. I don't know. He's not that old, obviously, but he's old-timey values and whatnot. I mean, they've owned cornfields and buyed people out, farmers out. This is another part that they love to show in the trailer. It's kind of this bit of the chapter rather is made to kind of show people like, yeah, this game's gonna be nuts. There's gonna be traps. There's gonna be Ruvik and chasing and stuff. It's gonna be crazy. The game's not all this. First half of the game's kind of stealthy, and the last half of the game's kind of action-y. Not in a good Resident Evil 4 action-y, because there's not a lot of ammo in this game. In case you didn't hear, there was a little laughing there. And a map fragment. I'm not gonna go all the collectibles, don't worry. Except the keys. I'm gonna either get them all or show where they all are. There's, from what I can remember, one at least that I'm not gonna get, and that one I'm gonna show where it is. I mean, I'm probably not gonna get it because it's tough. Another key statue. Good to have. What, 4 keys? I did. Oh, there's Ruvik. Let's hide in here and hope he doesn't notice. If he was a little sooner, like you can see him walking past there, that's creepy. I'm going back outside. I think if most likely if he came in here when we came in here, if he entered the room as soon as we entered this closet thing, he most likely would have gotten us. thankfully, he didn't. And he has no idea where we are, even though we're in his mind and he can kind of locate us. It's probably like some kind of like he can kind of tell where we are, like we're in this town, or he might be in this room, or he's in this half of the mansion. But nah, there's nothing in there, which is great. You can also hide under the bed. I haven't hid under the bed against him. In fact, I think that this playthrough is the only time I've actually, not even in my what I do is I have a New Game Plus mode. New Game Plus. Oh, it is every like 5 minutes. I have a New Game Plus file that I play through
Again.
to kind of like test, and I didn't hide there. This is the first time I've ever, out of the 3 times I played this, including I've ever hided. I usually just ran.